Please welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you will be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for all the love and support. To those people that share my videos and to you guys that actually educate I, you guys are the real MVP. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Alright lovelies, let's dive in today's video.
So lovelies, I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok where this has a lot of people reacting to Taylor Swift, 1830s, song lyrics, guys. I'm just gonna roll the clip because a lot of people have a lot to say about the lyrics of the song. I'm just gonna roll it. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. Alright lovelies, let's dive into it.
Taylor Swift apparently has a line in one of her songs off her new album saying that when she was a kid, her and her friends would play a game where they would pick a different time to live in besides the one that they're currently living in. A time that they wished they could live in for various reasons. And Tay Tay said that she would say the year 1830 or the 1830s, but without all the racists and getting married off for the highest bid. Now, assuming that this is a true experience that Tay Tay actually had, I have a hard time believing that she did add the part that said, oh, but without the racists, while playing this game as a kid with her other friends. But let's just say for a moment that she did actually really, truly, in real life say that. What is it about the 1830s that she liked so much? In the 1830s, chattel slavery was the law of the land and was normalized to where people did not see themselves as racists. And even the abolitionists of that time were not exempt from anti-black views backed by pseudoscience. These same people who opposed the institution of slavery also did not believe that African Americans were equal to white Americans. Black people were still believed to be the inferior race, much like the views held by Abraham Lincoln, Mr. Freed the Slaves himself. Do you think Lincoln thought that he was racist? Probably not. You didn't have to be a slave owner on a plantation to be a racist, just as you don't have to be a member of the version of the Crazy Cracker Club that we have today to be a racist today. The 1830s gave us the Indian Removal Act, where the president could grant land west of the Mississippi to tribes who agreed to give up their homelands, lands that the government aimed to clear for white settlers. This act was the driving force for the Trail of Tears. In the 1830s, Manifest Destiny was the plan of action. The idea that white Americans, white people, were divinely ordained to settle the entire continent of North America and elsewhere. In the 1830s, there were inflamed tensions between abolitionists and slaveholders and heightened conflict between indigenous people and white settlers. In the 1830s, westward expansion carried slavery down into the Southwest, into Mississippi, Alabama, into Louisiana, and by the 1840s, it had been pouring into Texas. Manifest Destiny was a clear racial doctrine of white supremacy. It allowed white people to argue that they were superior to all who they conquered, and that by taking their land, the white people were racially superior. They don't teach that in school, do they? The 1830s brought forced displacement, blatant disregard for sacred and ancestral places, forced assimilation, the violent and heartless removal of indigenous children from their homes and families, forced to worship the Christian God and forced to speak English, having their cultures and identities ripped away or beaten out of them, many being unalived at the hands of nuns, only to be found in a mass unmarked grave last year, some never found. In the 1830s, Black Americans were enslaved in small farms, large plantations, in cities and towns, in homes, out in the fields, in industry and transportation in the South. In the 1830s, Nat Turner led an uprising of enslaved people that resulted in the unalivement of 57 white people. It took state militia, federal troops, and vigilantes 2 days to stop the 70 enslaved and free black men who were moving through the neighborhood, unaliving slave-owning families and freeing the enslaved people. It took them 6 more weeks to capture Nat Turner. At least 150 black people lost their lives, and after the uprising, white people massacred more than 100 black people in retaliatory violence and executed dozens more after trials. The state governments in the South responded with harsher and harsher restrictions on black people, both enslaved and free. In the 1830s, although most northern states had abolished slavery, black residents in the North still faced considerable racism and racial discrimination. They lived in the poorest and unhealthiest neighborhoods in the cities, barred from all employment except menial labor, and were periodically harassed by white mobs. You see, the 1830s doesn't exist without racism and racists. The history of America, at every point, does not exist without racism and the racists. Tay-Tay, it's giving Make America Great Again. Can you tell us when America was great? The 1830s?
Everybody, I introduce to you white feminism. This is a real live lyric off of Taylor Swift's new album, The Tortured Poets Department. We would pick a decade we wish we could live in instead of this. I'd say the 1830s, but without all the racists. I said, you know what? We're probably taking this line out of context. Let me go listen to the whole song. It was ass, but let me go look at the entire lyric. And no, not even the entire lyric is doing it for me. I feel like this lyric encapsulates the entire Taylor Swift experience, the white feminism experience. Part of feminism that really ignores the experiences of all other ethnic feminist experiences. Because if you ask any black person, hey, if you had a time machine, which decade would you go back to? I don't think any of us are going past 1990. But 1830 is such a niche year to say. Because even what? White women loved it because the album is expected to sell 2 million units first week. So, yay. Intersectionality, am I right?
Tell me how this was actually the first line I saw this morning from the album when I woke up. And the first thing I did was I looked up what was happening in the 1830s, because why is she wanting to go back there? So the first thing I see is the rebellion of Nat Turner in the Trail of Tears. So she says she's wanting to go back to the 1830s. What is she fantasizing about? What is she nostalgic about the 1830s? And how do you take racism out of a time period like the 1830s, where slavery is occurring, where the Trail of Tears is occurring? What are we talking about right now? It's one of those lines just drenched in white perspective and privilege, because if you as a black person, you can't even fathom the concept of wanting to go back to 1830. You know what I'm saying? It's not even a joke. It's not even something that goes in your mind. It's not even something you think about or fantasize about without the racism. Come on, it's not even possible. It was what the times were. What are you thinking of? Travel back and then what? What are we doing here? Why is this line on here?
Swifties, be for real. Be so for real right now. I thought that Taylor Swift line was a joke. We would pick a decade we wish we could live in instead of this. I'd say the 1830s, but without all the races. That's a bar. So out of all the other decades, Taylor, the 1830s is where you would like to be? Are you kidding me? Not only were there racists there was slavery, Taylor. It's giving out of touch. And you know what, Swifties? Miss me with you're not reading the whole lyric, it's out of context. I got you. Let's read it together, shall we? My friends would play a game where we would pick a decade we wish we could live in instead of this. I'd say the 1830s, but without all the racists. And getting married off for the highest bid? Huh? So what was that? I'm ready for y'all to defend her and that lyric in the comments. I'm so ready, and I'm going to read them all. I'm going to tell you right now. Because what the heck is that? The 1830s, y'all. Taylor, you don't write bars, sweetheart. It brings me back to what Aretha Franklin said about you.
Taylor Swift.
Okay, great gowns, beautiful gowns.
And I'm going to tell y'all right now, if she wins Album of the Year, girl.
Taylor Swift album came out and everybody talking about her and Kim, but there's more pressing matters going on with this album. Taylor Swift sat her Swiffer Wet Jet Basic Bob ass up on the People's Recording Studio and said, we would pick a decade we wish we could live instead of this, I'd say the 1830s without all the racists. Sister, so I was like, let me Google what happened in the 1830s. I was so lit that Miss Swifter wanted to go back there. So I Googled it, right? And this is what I found. The Second Grand Awakening is the religious revival movement. Sounds like a blast. The Oregon Trail. Sounds so fun. Indian Removal Act. Nat Turner's Revolt. And you know who Nat Turner is? He was a nigga that led the slave revolt. They killed everybody. Then they killed him. The Liberator Against Publications. And the Cyrus McCormick events of the Mechanical Rebirth. This is lit, girl. Yeah, I get it, girl. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, girl. You gonna turn up in the 1830s. And this is not only tone deaf. Actually, it's worse than tone deaf, bitch. This is tone blind, deaf, and dumb. Here's my thing. Imagine fighting rumors that you're a Trump supporter. And then you write a song about how you would choose to be in any decade. And you choose a decade before the Emancipation Proclamation. You're never beating those allegations, sister. I don't care how many events you drag Ice Spice to as your, hey, I got a black friend. You're not beating those allegations, sister. That's crazy. The 1830s is crazy. Oh, Lord. You can't write this shit. There's so many other decades you could have chose. This is 1830s. I don't get it.
This is y'all's profound lyricist. We would pick a decade we wish we could live in. Instead of this, I'd say the 1830s, but without all the racists. I'm just imagining the choreo being like the 1830s without all the racists. And the crowd being like the 1830s without all the racists. I just don't know. I think that shows that nobody important in the room was black. Nobody close to her, super close, super duper close to have an opinion that permeated her brain to be like, yeah, that's a stupid thing to say. If you ever feel like you have to say, but without all the racists, rephrase. Specifically if you're the most profound lyricist of our time in history. Allegedly, you know what I mean? I think Beyonce's winning this year. I think all the cards have said, I think that's what it's saying. Mark my words.
I saw this tweet with this screenshot of Taylor Swift lyrics from the new album, and I thought, okay, today I'm gonna have to make a video about media literacy, because there's no way on earth Taylor Swift had a song with the lyric, we could pick a decade we wished we could live in instead of this. I say the 1830s, but without all the racists. I was like, there's no way. I was gonna say in the video, oh man, I know you guys hate Taylor Swift, but come on, let's be reasonable. Why don't you do your research? But then as I always do, I was like, let me check my basis. And I go to genius.com. This is a real lyric. I listened to the song, it's a real lyric. And before the Swifties come for me, I'm not saying it's problematic. I'm not saying it's fucked up for it to say this, but it's weird. We gotta say it's weird. And this tweet at the top says it's funny. It's a funny decade to reference. What non-racist thing are you desperate to have experienced? The financial crisis, the cholera outbreak, and just in general, I don't know. I don't know why you would say this. See, you gotta laugh. You gotta laugh. And also, can you just imagine her in the recording booth or whatever, reading the lyrics and being saying the line off, and her team's like, oh yeah, she did that, and she's like, yeah, I am woke.
So Taylor's new album just dropped, and she dropped this horrendous bar in one of her newest songs. Now I'm seeing some folks be surprised about this shit. They saying, oh, why is Taylor saying these things? This is not good songwriting. What is she trying to say here? But remember, I told y'all this shit 10 months ago. 10 months ago on the dot. I told y'all Taylor Swift be on that white feminism timing. It shows up in her work. It shows up in everything that she has done and is doing currently. I told y'all this shit 10 months ago. You gotta listen to me when I say these things. I'm not fucking lying. I'm not lying. I'm saying bro, I try to tell folks. I got pushed back and shit. Niggas Look at you now. Look at you now. She over here doing the same shit I told y'all that she been doing. That's the same shit. Go watch this fucking video, man. Look at my ball. Go fucking watch this shit. I told y'all this shit 10 months ago. You gotta listen when I say these things. Come on now.
Like, seriously, lovely, it's funny enough. This is not the first time I'm seeing a pan-colored person wishing that we can just go back to the hands of time. We can just go back to the, 18s, the 16s, the 17s, and all of that. Taylor Swift is not even the first person. Taylor Swift is not the first person to ever wish to go back to the hands of them. There are a lot of pan-colored person, if they are asked, to choose some decade you want to go back to. None of them want to, go back to the 19s, to the 90s. Everybody want to go back to the 18s, the 17s, the 16s, and all of that. Right? Because most people enjoy it then. Like, most people, it was so favorable to them. It was so favorable to them. Even till to today, like 2024, we are still arguing on someone. We are still trying to cancel someone who decided that she is going to sell the slave dolls. So what does this imply? What does this tell you? What does this tell you? So it's not a matter of, oh my God, we're so shocked. How will you say that? This is something that they wished to. Forget the way she was like, okay, I wish that we could go back to the decade of 1830s, but without the rain and seas and marrying off. Like, is it only rain and seas that actually existed then? It is even now that rain and seas is existed. Then it was slavery period. That time is not something to write home about. That time is not something that anyone can ever wish to go back to. That time is not something that someone of her own even caliber or someone of her own age who wish to go back to. Like, a lot of people tend to say stuff that only benefit them. That so many people are so selfish. Because when you wish you want to go back to that extent, you should be able to reason what really happened then. Is this something favorable to only me or to the society? But no, a lot of people do not care about this. Everybody, especially pan-colored people, most of them, like, I have seen so many videos on TikTok. The curse of my reaction, I think that's one that I actually posted. Like, I reacted to it, where she was talking about how she wished it was, that she enjoyed that day. Was it the liberal thing or what? She was saying something about that, and then I come across this, the tweet of a girl. I decided, like, okay, this is just their own mindset. This is just all many of them feel. So I am surprised, but I am not too surprised. A lot of people, like, okay, coming from someone like her or someone maybe a public figure and all of that, they are all the same. They are all the same. What do you think? You think that she will wish to be in an area where they will not be in control, even if they're still in control to date? So it shouldn't be something surprising or something new, because this thing is something that have been existing for decades. Even when all of this, races and all of that slavery have been abolished and all of that, some people still wished that it could still remain the way it was. That is why even till today, we are still battling when people want to call the N-word. We are still calling people out for using the blackface. Not quite long, we were just talking about someone that decided to sell a slave doll. Like, so what does this imply? This is just their average thinking. This is just what most of them wished. Not all. Some of them are still good people out there. There are still people that try to educate themselves. There are still people that just want to change the narrative, change the word, and all of that. But majority is people that, oh my goodness, I said till 2024, we are still fighting. We are still counseling people for absolutely doing the worst. And you think that this thing is something that we are just gonna keep on fighting and it will just end in one piece? No, we just have to keep doing what we have to do to at least minimize the rate at which it occurs, or minimize the way at which it occurs. That is it. I posted a video the other day where this guy was cancelled for absolutely saying the obvious. I think till now their mindset is gonna change. A lot of them actually want to go back to the days. A lot of them want to actually know what it feels to be their ancestors. There is a video I posted on my Belinda's channel. This actually happened. This lady met someone online. She's actually someone from far away from Africa. Then she met someone online who happens to be a pan-colored person, and because of the rate of background and all of that, she decided to, like, okay, I've met someone. Then this man did everything he has to do, paid the bride price, book her some tickets, have visas and all of that, have to join him. Do you know what he did? He locked her up. She's not able to go out. She's not able to talk to the neighbors. She is not even able to go out to shop. He does everything outdoors. Then locked her up until one day she decided to, keep on, crying and all of that before a neighbor decided that there is always a noise coming out from this said house and all of that. And before you know it, she was rescued. So if this kind of thing can still happen in this our era, what do you expect? All of them, or most of them, not even all, want to actually experience what their ancestors experienced. Most of them want to, actually own one or two persons. But it's something that is not doable. But the only thing we have to do is just to keep on, using our voices, looking out for ourselves and all of that. Like, seriously, you were asked a question like, okay, she talks about how it was, a thing that she and her friend was trying to, like, to see what decades they wish to ask for if they were opportuned to, then all you could think about all the decades you could think about what a decade where some people benefited and some people did not. It's a decade whereby you are the ones that's actually ruling. Like, seriously, I know the other songs and all of that is just something that, like, there is nothing to write home about. A lot of people are actually reacting to this, especially the 1813 thing. A lot of black people are reacting to this because this is actually not normal. How could you wish for something that pretty well have some negative stuff in the life of some people? Anyways, lovelies, this is all I got for you from the stages, though there are a lot of them out there, but basically everybody is just talking on how they never liked that comment or the lyrics or something of the song. Most people were upset, and everybody giving their reasons and their commentaries, and I was just able to put up this. And guys, if you watch up to this extent, why not just give me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video? And I also want to throw this this question back to the audience. If you wish for a decade, what will you wish? If you wish to go back for a decade, what decade will you wish to go back? I myself, I think I'll just go back from the 200s, 2000s, like where everyone was just free to do whatever you want to do, even if there's still level of preferences and all of that, but we're just managing it. Anyways, lovelies, I want to use this medium to say a very big shout out to my newest subscribers, to those people that share my videos, that leave my commentaries, to those people that actually educate us, each and every one of us, one way or the other. You have contributed on this platform, and also people that super chat me. Thank you so much for all the love and support, the encouragement I get from you guys. Keep me pushing. I cannot take all those love for granted. You guys are the real MVP, just like my second family. Alright, thank you so much once again for all the love and support, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.
Esther, thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. We're just here for educational purposes, guys. So please, why not just share this video, subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do that, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.